Beloved, it's been less than 48 hours since Texas suffered the terrible flooding. The Guadalupe River rose above its banks and has caused so much damage and so many people that are suffering because of this. It really brings into focus the importance of being prepared and having systems to deal with the best you can these situations. Natural disasters, for some reason, are on the increase. They're more intense, they're more frequent, and it really behooves us to have a plan and have some systems in place. This gives us a good opportunity to give you kind of a rare glimpse behind the scenes of my individual systems, from small to whole home units, how I plan to deal with problems. Now, I've got a big active volcano right in my backyard, and it's not lost on me that that thing could blow at any time. So it's always on my mind to be somewhat independent or to have plans. Let's go through my systems. They're primarily based around the EcoFlow products, from the smallest ones like the small river to the whole home units that we have powering our emergency cabin, the Delta Pro Ultra. Let's walk through from the smallest to the largest. I'll show you how I incorporate them, how I use them, and it might help you to decide which products might be the best fit for you. I think for most people, the place to start is going to be with a small portable unit like the river. It's the littlest and probably among the most versatile for most people. Of all the EcoFlow products, I think the river is probably the most used around here, the most versatile. It's the size of it, and it's pretty affordable. It's within reach of most people. I keep mine in a Go Dark bag. Just pick any sort of a small duffel bag, and the reason I do that is you can keep all the peripherals in here. I'm gonna have my AC charger, so I can charge this up with a wall outlet. Also, you can charge the river through your cigarette lighter or power point from your vehicle, as well as any standard solar panel. Even if you don't have a solar panel, if you can find one, you can plug this in anywhere, like in an emergency if you have to leave home, and you can get a charge on this. What this is going to be, this is a real good travel companion, and really nice if you have kids that have electronics or you want to charge your phones or laptops in the vehicle. It's very, very handy. You've got AC plugs, you've got USB-C, USB-A, you got PowerPoint, multiple ways of charging, and it's just a really nice grab-and-go system that you can take with you. Next, we're going to go mid-tier, and this area of the adventure van is basically my shop, where I have a lot of power needs. And what lives back here is the new Delta 3 Plus. Now, this is the one Mr. Jiraiya calls the Goldilocks. Not as big as the Delta Pro, so it's a lot more manageable, but really, really robust, especially when you add the extra battery, which essentially doubles the capacity. Now, the battery looks smaller than the Plus, but it's the same battery, so it's 100% more of an increase. You just don't have all the electronics inside. So that's a pretty robust system. Now, this is the one, unfortunately, Mr. Jiraiya doesn't get it anymore because it lives in here. This is the one that he would carry around in the back of the quad because of the portability. It'll run most power tools, and this is a good system because it's so portable. Even if you just go with this configuration here without the extra battery, pretty much anyone, even kids, will be able to lift this up and carry it around. And now you got a really robust system. You're going to have your AC adapters, you're going to have your USB-Cs, your USB-As, and a ton of battery capacity. So how I use this, it just lives back in here. It's plugged into the fast charger, so this charges up really, really quick through the alternator and through the solar. It's always charging, and what I'm using it for is just all my accessories. When Sweet Loaf and I were getting ready to go on a ride, so I'll be charging our comm systems on our helmets. I'll be charging, I always have a Milwaukee battery charger in here because I like to use the little compressors. And I always have a cordless drill back here because I find it to be handy, and an impact driver. My power banks, we're always using those. One wheels, we ride those all the time. They're super power hungry, and this gives me the ability to charge all these things up all the time and not have to listen to a noisy generator, which I really hate running. I hate listening to it. I don't like the vibration in the cab, and this is just a sweet little system. So this guy lives in here, and man, I'll tell you, I might use this one more than the river, to be honest. I know Mrs. W and the Sweet Loaf, they like the river because it's up front, but I'm usually back here, and this one is excellent for vans or RVs. Now we're stepping up from mid-tier to heavy duty. EcoFlow really has a nice product with this one right here. This is the 3rd generation Delta Pro 3. Now you've got 240 power. I keep talking about versatile. This one's versatile. This one rides around with me, and Mr. Dry, he's got one too, in the quads because of that. This right here has, I was searching my memory, I do not believe I have used the Honda 2000 since I've had these units right here. They've effectively replaced that, and what's nice about it is they're silent. I don't have to listen to that engine running. Now we've got 240 power. This system, if I was going to build a van or I had an RV that I wanted to supplement power, basically replace a generator, this is what I'm going to have right here. And the fact that it has 240 in it, now you've got a system that can be light duty home backup system. 240 power is going to run a well pump for an emergency. Now it's not going to run all day long, but it will get water out of it. It really starts giving you capabilities. A lot more battery and a lot more power, 30 amp. And with this one here, one of the handiest things for those of us who are van life, you've got a 30 amp RV plug. Those of you who have RVs would be familiar with this plug. This is the 30 amp 120 plug that you're going to find at RV parks. And now it's incorporated right into the side. So you can plug directly into your RV or van. In addition to the RV plug, you've got some serious power options here on the Delta Pro on the 3s. You got 120s, you got 240s. You're plugging refrigerators in here, major appliances. You know, we buy beef by the side, and to lose all of that investment would be tragedy. Something like this, over power being out for a couple days, this is going to maintain that. And you can come in with solar. You can come in with a ton of solar and you can charge it up on your own. You got 240 options. You can work a system where you could get water out of your well pump. This is a really good light duty whole home system that you can expand and build on that's still portable. You can take it camping. You can put it in the back of your quad. You're not tying yourself into a system that is just dedicated for one thing. It goes with you everywhere, and it's portable enough that you'll actually use it that way. I have 3 of these Delta Pros. This is what I'm going to bring in the van if I'm going to be going a couple of days. The one that I have inside is enough for overnighters, weekends, but if I want to have AC power and a lot of backup power and not have to listen to that generator, I'm going to put this in the back and we're going to take it along with us. Let me show you how it runs the generator, because it takes, how it runs the AC unit, because it takes a lot of power to run the AC unit. With that Shoreline plugged in, it's charging a hefty amount right now. It's charging up this Delta Pro, the house batteries, the refrigerator, all that. But I can turn the fan on here, full AC. Should boot up. Now we're running full AC without having to have that backup generator going, which is obnoxious. Now, how long will it run? So I've been testing it here in Adventure Van, and when I originally turned it on, when it's really hot inside the van, it shows on the Delta Pro about 2 to 3 hours of runtime. But what I notice is that once it gets cool inside and there's less demand on the AC unit, it's not trying to lift that temperature up from super hot to cool, then it seems to run about 6 or 7 hours on that alone. Now that's perfect for us because we never stay in one place too long. And if we have a real need, we can always start the generator, but we hop around. And to be honest, when it's hot outside, the last thing I want to do is to be inside the van. And so how we're using it is we'll pull into a place, we want to sit down for maybe a couple hours and chill. We want to maybe cook some food. I'm going to plug into that. We don't have to have the generator. We're not disturbing people. It's just a lot more discreet. So I really like it for that. So in the past, I would have had a 2000. Not anymore. This is the one that I take with me. I also got one of these in the snow bike trailer. This is the previous generation Delta Pro. This does not have 240. To get 240 out of these, you have to hook 2 together, unlike the 3, which has it on board. But I have no need of that. So this is a great way if you want to have the big battery capacity and save a little bit of money, and you don't need that 240 power, then this is a good unit for that. I mean, I'll tell you, building RVs and having backup power, I'm not doing dedicated systems anymore. I've ran that route before. This is turnkey, ready to go, and you're not locked in. I could put a full system in here and invest all that money into it. And then if I need it somewhere else, I want to use it in the house for an emergency, I can't do that. Where this, I can simply unstrap it, roll it around. It gives you options. You can go camping with you. You can loan it to your neighbor. You can bring it into the house to keep your refrigerators running. These are good systems and really good light duty, short-term home backup systems. This system here always reminds me of like the external battery setup for the SR-71 Blackbird. You know, it's on the ground and they have that big auxiliary power unit that they plug it into. All right, gentlemen, let's head over to Shop 2.0. I'll show you how I power my off-grid shop, as well as the big unit, the Ultra, how we power the cabin. Shop 2.0 is completely off-grid and powered by one Delta Pro. Now this is Mr. Jiraiya's work area right here. He's got his own workbench and tools. He does a lot of maintenance stuff here. So the power demands of the shop are light. It's primarily for storage and light duty work. We got 400 or 800 watts of solar coming in here powering it, 2 big panels, and I'll show you how we got this configured. We're really only using this for light tool work, the roll-up garage doors, which are powered, and all the interior lighting. Pretty simple, but very effective. If you've got a remote building shop that you haven't or don't want to spend thousands of dollars to run power out to, that you're not using all the time, one of these units can run your shop and do everything you need to do. We've got right here 800 watts of solar that's charging all day long. So if Mr. Jiraiya draws this down through the day by using, doing maintenance work, it charges up, it stays on top of. We've never come close to depleting it. It runs the garage doors, the lights, everything I said. He's got a couple of the Maxes. He keeps these charging up here. He'll throw these in the back of his quad if he needs to go do some work on a fence line somewhere remote. But this unit right here is more than enough for just a light duty outbuilding. Now finally we're gonna go God tier power. Whole home system or whole cabin system, no compromise for, well, complete energy independence. This is the Delta Pro Ultra in a small configuration. This is industrial grade, whole home, scalable units. Individual batteries with the power inverter on the top with full grid tie panel backup system. Now we're running 2 batteries here because the cabin is only 400 square feet, and this is enough power to run the cabin, no compromise, for 3 to 4 days in an off-grid situation. This could be scalable and expandable. You can add up to 3 of these units into your panel for a total of 15 batteries. So if you have a large home or you want to pay as you go and build it up, you can add and add and add till you have what you need. You can start small, at least get into a system that will keep you going for a few days. The Ultra is a true emergency backup system, but it also is very different than the others in that it's something that works, that you use on the daily. Now, when you incorporate this in with the EcoFlow smart panel system, what this does is that this allows you to save money on your power bill. This tied into solar panels now charges during the day. Now the power companies are getting into a trend where they're charging different amounts of money depending on when you use power. And that can be 3 times higher at peak than it is in off peak. So what this system allows you to do, in addition to having a full backup system if the power goes down, is that it allows you to power and utilize power from the unit itself when power is expensive. And then when power is cheap, like at nighttime, then you can buy that at the lowest rate and it's recharging the system. So it's essentially giving you a reservoir of power where you can buy it at the cheapest price and then use it during the peak time. So over a course, I was figuring it out, over a course of about, depending on your house, but around 3 years or so, these systems can pay for themselves just on what you save from your utility bills. So really, really popular with a lot of people. And in new construction, I would really strongly consider one of these. They're very simple to install. It's a one-time deal. Have your electrician start to do the smart panel. And then what's cool about this is it's the seamless transfer. Mr. Peter lives in the cabin here, or is caretaking the cabin for us. And when the power shuts off, which it does all the time because we have storms and trees fall on it, the switch is immediate. And he doesn't even know that the power is out, other than looking at the neighbors to see that they don't have power. So the Ultra is the big unit that's going to be for your whole home. I love, love, love this unit. This is super, super skookum quality. Also, I failed to mention, you do not need to tie this into the grid or the smart panel. You have a full array of all the ads. So if you had this system at home, you had to throw up a solar panel, it's charging all the time. You've got your 240, you got your big power, your well pump. This is going to run all of everything on the home that you need. All your inputs are all in the front. So this is a standalone unit as well, completely portable. It's heavy, but it rolls around. You could roll this into the garage. You could roll it wherever you need to. Think of this like a big, huge backup generator. I keep seeing things I want to show you. I really, really like the Ultra system. Full touchscreen, an option for a touchpad where you can control everything and see exactly what's going on. Who's using power, where the draws are, how much is coming in, nice animations, good software. This is really fun. I enjoy this. I'd be playing with this all the time if I lived here. Well, gentlemen, that concludes the tour. That's all my EcoFlow systems, how we use them, and my personal experience with the company has been fantastic. We've been with them for a long time, and all of these systems we use pretty much on the daily between between myself, Mr. Jiraiya, Mrs. W. It is incorporated into our systems and has saved us a ton of money and been very, very convenient. Tomorrow, the 8th, is EcoFlow's annual Prime Day sale. It's the biggest, the deepest discounts of the entire year. I would really take a look at them. If you've been on the fence or thinking about investing in one of these systems, from the little ones to the big ones, tomorrow, the 8th through the 11th, is going to be the time to get one. There's a lot of uncertainty with the tariffs, what's going on geopolitically. I don't know, but EcoFlow prices could be affected by that. So right now, they are not, as far as I understand. So jump in on that and start with the little river. And if you like that, expand maybe into a Delta Pro 3, or if you want whole home backup system that you can plug and play, do yourself, the Ultra I'm a huge fan of that too. We really, really like that around here. Thanks for watching. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.